Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. Football season is here, and of course, I've been talking a lot of Baltimore Positive stuff around here about our sports franchises and Super Bowls and all that sort of thing, but got a group of local people that have put together a little bit of a Super Bowl for Baltimore people and Baltimore Homecoming. I heard about it back in 2018. More of it has hit my desk here in 2019. And as part of my whole Baltimore Positive outlook on things and what we're doing around here, I want to bring on Dan Schochor from the Baltimore Homecoming group. He's the executive director. And Dan, let me first things first. Congratulations on having a second year to bring these things together. And I know some movers and shakers put this thing together. There's some celebrities involved in all of it. And I guess the further I dig into this, and I've tried to learn, it's called Baltimore Homecoming for a reason, right? It sort of happens during football season, and you want sort of people to come home to sort of the university of being a Baltimore resident to some degree, right?
That's absolutely right. And thank you so much for having me, Nestor. I really appreciate being on. That's absolutely right on. Baltimore Homecoming was developed to bring people back to the city, to use the city almost as a magnet to attract folks who've been successful around the country and the world but have a deep connection to the city. Either they're from here or they cut their teeth in business here. They went to school here, but they have some sort of deep connection to the city to bring them back to the city, because a lot of times we notice that how Baltimore is represented on a national stage or an international stage isn't really representative of the incredible things that are happening in the city. And so we want them to come back so that they can be immersed and experience it for themselves, and so that they can strike up new partnerships, create new connections, and invest back into the city that they all love for different reasons.
All right, so give me the brainchild of all of this, and I'll be telling some more as this thing gets going. It's coming in October, but it's for local people, but it's also really for people who used to live here or from here to bring them back and create some sort of an environment every fall where there's one more civic celebration to add to the map. Now, I would ask, why not do this around Preakness weekend? Why not do this thing around things that already exist? I guess there are legitimate questions. There's so many things going on. Light cities going on here. We had AFRAM. We have festivals going on. We have Artscape going. We had a city fair here for many years. Celebration, 4th of July, these things that we have in the community. What was the genesis of making this a fall event? And I guess at heart, trying to make the image of Baltimore a little bit better outside of our city, which I'm all for, man.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and it's a great question. So like you said, the event this year, it's 3 days. It's October 16th through 18th of 2019. And as you alluded to, the idea is to bring folks who have connections to the city but have since moved away back to the city so that they can experience the incredible programs and people who are driving and innovating in this city, so that they can meet and be immersed in that environment firsthand. And the reason that the program sort of stands on its own currently is because there is so much that we want the people coming back to Baltimore to experience, just through the first event's curation and creation. You think about filling 3 days, and that sounds like quite an arduous task, filling it with programming, filling it with opportunities for folks who come back to experience the city and the people that make it great. It sounds like, boy, that's tough to fill. There are so many things that we've had to leave out that, we want to make sure that we can create this experience for these folks coming back into town, so that they get the full breadth and view of the incredible things that are happening in the city year over year. And so that's the idea. And of course, we want them to take home with them when they leave Baltimore Homecoming and they go back to where they live. We want them to take these stories and experiences back with them, spread them by word of mouth, and create this alumni network that continues to grow over time, that remains connected to the city, and in remaining connected to the city, continues to push resources and support to the organizations and people in this city that make it the great place it is on a daily basis. So that's really the idea and the gist behind it. And it's not that, Homecoming isn't interested in partnering or working with other programs. Certainly we have, and this year the running festival happens on the Saturday after we conclude.
Another beautiful event in Baltimore, right?
Incredible, yeah. I mean, and you're absolutely right. These events are gorgeous, and they bring people in from out of town. Right now, Baltimore Homecoming is really focused on creating that alumni network, and doing so in a very unique way that has been tried and true in Detroit with Detroit Homecoming. They've been very successful. They're now, I believe, in their 6th year in creating this alumni network of people who were from Detroit and came back and now invest in the city in meaningful ways. And so we want to do the same thing here, and that means establishing sort of a homecoming brand for Baltimore that people recognize and recognize independently, so that we can also build that vast alumni network and start really recognizing some of the support that these folks have to offer to the people and organizations in the city that are doing incredible work and could really use that help and that push.
Dan Schochor is here. He is the executive director of Baltimore Homecoming. You can go to BaltimoreHomecoming.com, reconnect with your past, reshape our future. I remember, Dan, back in the day, they say, Nasty, I can't get your radio station past Towson, I can't begin to tell you how many people listen to WNST on the mobile app from all over the country, all over the world. I mean, I get emails from everywhere, and they are, by and large, because I wind up talking about the Orioles and the Ravens and the Terps and the Caps and whatever, they're Baltimore people who have, they're expatriated. They've moved on. They come home for Thanksgiving or Christmas or the Calvert Hall Loyola game or a Ravens game or opening day, whatever it is, right? And they go back to where they're from, where they live. They're from here. And I guess the number one question anyone asks you when they meet you is, hey, Dan, where are you from? Hey, Ness, where are you from? Right, when you're somewhere else, when you're in Albuquerque or on a plane, you meet someone, you say, oh, where are you from? Or they see my Oriole hat or whatever they see, right? And when you say, well, I'm from Baltimore, they say, oh, I'm sorry, or here it's bad, president talk, and I remember 25 years ago, they would say, oh, my God, I was there. The harbor's lovely, and Cal Ripken and crab cakes, and gosh, you got a football team now, and Camden Yards, or as my wife's family would say, Camden Yads. And that was what Baltimore was, Fort McHenry and the Star-Spangled Banner. And, boy, that narrative has changed outside of our city, and we've allowed that to happen because we have so many wonderful things that happen here. And I talk about them all the time on Baltimore Positive, and that's the reason I created Baltimore Positive. But the more that I think about your methodology of taking 100, 500, 1,000 movers and shakers, the Michael Phelps, everywhere he goes for the rest of his life, he's from Baltimore, right? Like, no matter what, he's from Baltimore. And the same is true for me. Same is true for John Waters. And I know you have some celebrities involved in this that have started to sort of lift up the shovel. I know Mike Rowe is one of them. I'm looking forward to having him on. I'll probably try to stay away from politics because we will not agree on that. But we can all agree on one thing. We all want to make Baltimore better,
Absolutely. And so, this year we've got Lance Reddick coming back, who stars on Bosch currently. Obviously, John Wick, his IMDb is incredible. So we're so grateful to have him coming back. Duff Goldman, of Ace of Cake stardom. Melanie Whalen, who's from Soul Cycle. We've got Senator Mikulski coming back. Barry Levinson has agreed to speak, of course, the award-winning filmmaker and director. And the incredible, I would say, thread, let's put it that way, that combines all of these people is really the fact that they are so unbelievably dedicated to this city. And to your point, Esther, Baltimore's gotten beaten up nationally in headlines, and the narrative has shifted. And what I will say is that I think the most effective way to combat that is to just show people the incredible things that are happening here for themselves, so that they themselves can experience it, and they can go back and, with the authority of having been there and literally done it and been a part of it and met the people, discuss what is going on in this city really. Now, we have to tie what we're doing and the optimism that we have for this city to the reality, which is that we are, as a city, not, we haven't reached our potential clearly. There's capacity for growth and improvement in the city that I think we would all agree exists. But that
speaking
said,
my language, brother.
but I mean, that said, I think when you tether the reality of what's going on in this city, good and, needing of improvement, and you tether that to a view that we all share for the future of this city, which is better than our present, I think that's when you get people to really buy in and believe that what's happening on the ground is going to have an effect. They do have the capacity to move the needle, you know? It's not this pie in the sky, everything's great, everything's going to be wonderful, no problems here, nothing to see here. But it is, listen, we understand what's going on here because we live here every day and we love here every day.
Tell me about your background, because you have a unique background personally in getting involved with this, because you've been involved in the community doing Baltimore Positive things for a long time, Dan.
Yeah, so I came, I'm from the Baltimore area, and I left to go to school, came back to teach for a year, left to get my PhD in educational leadership, and came back to Baltimore City, and have been working in Baltimore City Public Schools as a principal and then an executive director for about the last decade. And so I was in East Baltimore as the principal of the middle school, the Crossroads School in East Baltimore, and then I took the position as executive director in West Baltimore, Green Street Academy, which is now a school of 875 kids thriving in West Baltimore. And it's got the second largest LEED Platinum school, K-12 school in the world by square footage. And so these are like, I am intimately familiar with.
Yet the headline is no one does math in our city, right? Like literally that was the headline this week.
Yeah, and it's understanding that the issues that our city have, first of all, are not totally unique to our city, but second of all, take time to address. And if you don't have a short-term, intermediate-term, and a long-term vision, then you're going to get frustrated and quit along the way, and everyone's going to have to start over from square one. And the whole point of Homecoming is that we have that short-term, intermediate-term, and long-term vision for the success of this organization that also parallels the success of the city. And that is bring people back in the short term, get them involved and invested in the city, show them what they're missing or what they've missed as they've moved away, and make them pine to come back in some sort of way, at least annually, if not more frequently.
Dan,
and then,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm
sure.
sorry. Oh, no, grow the network. As the network continues to grow, draw on it for support, make those connections that have people in California and L.A. talking to people in Baltimore on a regular basis and helping each other out. Really expand what it means to be a Baltimorean and have people, once again, take pride in the fact that they're from this city because it's an incredible place, it's a vibrant place, and it's a place we should all be really proud of being from.
He is Dan Schochor. He's the executive director of Baltimore Homecoming, also founder and president of Green Street Academy, and doing good stuff with the Baltimore Homecoming. You learn more about all of this at BaltimoreHomecoming.com. If you are a displaced Baltimorean, someone who loves Baltimore, someone who wants to be involved, obviously I've been doing that with Baltimore Positive. Tell everybody how they can get involved, throw you an email, and learning a little bit more about this, because it's not for everybody. It really is about finding Baltimore brand ambassadors who live elsewhere, who love Baltimore, and can take the good things and those good messages elsewhere. It's a wonderful concept, Dan.
It is. It's a great concept that James Shapiro and Nate Lowenthal came up with almost 2 years ago. And what I will say is, though the event is invitation-based and invitation only, there are places where Homecoming is absolutely open to the community. So back in June, we sourced nominations for our Homecoming Heroes. These are individuals that are doing unbelievable work in the city every day.
By the way, I saw Van Brooks is one of them, and I saw Van jumping in the water on Facebook earlier in the week, and everybody loves Van, so shout out to Van.
Shout out to Van. Van's absolutely one of the 10 semifinalists, and although voting has now closed for the winners of that, that is an open part of the program. In the sense that anybody can be nominated to be a Homecoming hero. And these Homecoming heroes, like I said, represent, I believe, the best of what this city has to offer. We had a request for proposals earlier in the spring to host a field trip where our alumni are going to get on transportation and go out to certain organizations and institutions to see programming for themselves that is moving the needle on a daily basis here in the city. We're going to be having a pitch competition at this year's Homecoming. And we're going to open, of course, open source applications of businesses and entrepreneurs who want to be a part of the pitch competition. We're going to be opening that application in a week or two. And so even though the event itself is invitation-based, invitation only, and there are ways, absolutely, for the public to be a part of Homecoming and be spotlighted for the incredible work or business that they do in the city on a daily basis. So that's the format. The 3-day event. We have programming Wednesday night, Thursday morning, Friday morning. Thursday night we have a larger celebration that involves more locals as our numbers swell to between 400 and 500 people.
Well, hey, I'm looking forward to doing anything I can do. Looking forward to meeting the founders as well and having them as part of our Baltimore Positive platform, because this is a Baltimore Positive event. And, even better, happens right after my birthday. It's my birthday week, so it's even better. So little Baltimore Homecoming, a week that the Ravens are heading out to Seattle. It is the 16th, 17th, 18th. Learn more about it at Baltimore Homecoming. Dan, tell everybody how they can find you and give a shout-out, and even Green Street, where, obviously you're still doing great things over there as well.
Well, so I'm fully at Baltimore Homecoming now. Green Street absolutely is still a love of mine, but I am over at Baltimore Homecoming. If you want more information on Homecoming, www.baltimorehomecoming.com. My contact information, as well as my deputy directors, is on the website. We would love to hear from you. Ideas that you have that you think might be interesting for the people coming back to Baltimore to see, please share them with us. That's what we're here for. Maybe you have individuals that have moved away that you think would be great candidates to come back and be a part of Homecoming. Also, please get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. And so that's the best way to get in touch with me and my deputy director, Robin Lee.
Dan, keep up the great work. Great having you on, man.
Appreciate it, Nestor. Thank you.
Dan Schochor, Executive Director at Baltimore Homecoming. Learn more about everything they're doing. Baltimore Positive is up and running. We're 50 episodes deep now with Dick Cass and Ron Shapiro this week. And boy, oh boy, I mean, I could sit here and just sort of read off all of these names and all of our guests coming up next month. Reverend Al Hathaway at Fadley's on the 5th of September. On the 12th of September, Sarah Heminger from Thread joining us at Jennings Cafe. On the 13th of September, Ben Jealous joins us at State Fair in Catonsville. On the 19th of September, the council president, Brandon Scott, joins us at Fadley's downtown for a crab cake. On the 26th, Howard County Executive Calvin Ball joins us at State Fair. They'll talk about Ellicott City and all sorts of other things. And then on October the 2nd, John Sarbanes is going to be our guest on the morning of October the 2nd. And Bill Ferguson joins us at Fadley's on October the 10th. So, woo! It's a mouthful. I'm chasing Larry Hogan. I'm chasing all sorts of people around here. But Baltimore Positive is percolating, as is Ravens season. You can find me, Ness, at BaltimorePositive.com or Nasty at WNST.net. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook Live, as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are Baltimore Positive and WNST.net AM 1570, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.